first Mercury dime was struck in 1916. Now, the earliest date I have is 1918. There's one there in good condition. Now, good, of course, we say good, but it's really not that great a condition. It's quite well worn. But if we take this one here, you could get a bit more detail on this one. Now, they are a beautiful coin, easy to collect, and quite affordable. Now, the story of the Mercury dime, however, goes back to September of 1901. President McKinley had been assassinated, and Theodore Teddy Roosevelt became president. While he's known for starting the first national parks and the inspiration for the world's most popular toy, the teddy bear, he is known to numismatists, that's the technical term for coin enthusiasts, as the one who believed the US needed better looking coins. The dimes at the time were the Barber Design. Here's an example right there. Barber Design. The person designed, of course, his name was Barber, hence the name. Now, this Barber design, many critics called it boring and uninspiring. Teddy described the design as atrocious hideousness. That's what he said. But there was a problem, though. As much as he wanted to change the design as soon as possible, the Barber design had only been in use since 1892 at the time that he was so at the time he was elected, it had only been in use 9 years. In order for the design to be changed, the US Congress would have to pass a law allowing a change to the coin design that was less than 25 years old. And that seemed highly unlikely to happen. So Roosevelt deferred changing the Barber design and hired Augustus St. Gaudens to change the designs on the $10 and $20 gold coin. And no, I do not have examples of either of those coins, as much as I would like to show them to you. They are beautiful coins, but they are well out of the price range of the people that I am probably talking to on this video. However, in 1916, with Roosevelt now well out of office for a few years, the Mint did not forget what he said. Who could forget the phrase atrocious hideousness? The Mint decided to go ahead and change all three Barber coin designs, the dime, the quarter, and the half. But it's the dime we're going to concentrate on. The Winged Liberty dime. And here's a nice example here. You can see the wings, helmet with wings. It is kind of hard to tell if it's a young boy or a young girl, but it is actually, in fact, a young girl wearing the helmet and wings on the helmet. So she's wearing a winged helmet, and this signifies freedom of thought. However, due to the close resemblance of the portrait to the Roman messenger god Mercury, everyone calls it the Mercury dime, or a Merc for short. The reverse design consists of an olive branch, and whoops, I've got it upside down again. There we go. Is an olive branch in the background there, which signifies peace, and a fasces, which has an interesting history on its own. So let's talk a little bit about the fasces. From the very beginning of recorded history, a leader of a tribe or village would carry a stick or a staff to signify his authority. Quite literally, he would signify his authority. He could use the staff to beat the daylights out of anyone who was insubordinate. Over time, it evolved to having assistants that carried the sticks. In Roman times, a senator, and later the emperor, would have assistants called lictors who carried the fasces. The Roman fasces were quite similar to the one in the Mercury dime. You will notice the one on the dime also has an axe. If you notice at the top left of the fasces, there is in fact a type of broad axe. And this in Rome, this meant that the lictor could also carry out executions by beheading. But the American use of the fasces was not just a symbol of authority. The sticks tied together symbolize unity and strength in numbers. You may have heard the story of a man who ran a cloth dyeing business and wanted to retire, but his sons, I don't know how many sons he had, were always fighting, and the father feared for the well-being of his business. So one day he called his sons together, picked up some sticks and broke them over his knee, one at a time. Then he tied several of the sticks together into a bundle, which he could not break over his knee. Strength in unity. The fasces have been used in many federal buildings in Washington, D.C. In fact, if you visit Washington, D.C., keep an eye out on some of the federal buildings. Many of them do have fasces symbols on them in different places, maybe not so conspicuous. They're also used as part of the seals of the U.S. House of Representatives and the Senate. However, in 1922, the fasces became the symbol of Benito Mussolini's political party, the Fascist Party, which of course comes from the word fasces. Because of this, the fasces became a rather unpopular symbol, well, less popular anyway, and the Mercury Dime came to an end in 1945. And I have here, of course, all three of the last 1945s. They were made in Philadelphia, with no mint mark. In Denver, mint mark is at the bottom. If you can, of course you probably can't. It's very difficult to see, but at the very bottom, at the cut of the olive branch, you can see the letter D. And there's also San Francisco, this one here, with the S mint mark. So, besides the history and the symbolism, why should we collect Mercury dimes? First, there's silver. At the current price of silver, you can get most dates at bullion value for about $2.20 American in well-worn condition. Even in better condition, like extra fine condition. If we can find, do I have one here in extra fine condition? I know I got one here somewhere in extra fine condition. Okay, now I can't find it. However, extra fine condition, there it is. There's one in extra fine condition right there. See most of the detail still on it. In extra fine condition, many of them still are less than $10 in this condition. So if you really want to get one in fairly nice, close to pristine condition, it's still affordable. One last little tidbit about Mercury dimes and fasces. The fasces are tied with what looks like 3 bands. And again, you could when you take a close look at it here, you can see that there is one band at the bottom, one at the top, and one in the very center. At least it looks like 3 bands, but actually each one of these bands is actually made up of 2 ropes. Now, even mint state dimes do not show the 2 ropes entirely. When you can see both all the way across the fasces, this is called full split bands, or FSB. The most common dates, however, with this particular feature, for the full split bands, start at $50, which unfortunately is a bit much for young collectors. But as I say, in less than mint state condition, many of them are very affordable. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe. And don't forget to ring the bell. And if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. And if you have any suggestions for economical collectible coins, please let me know. I just might have some in my collection. And I thank you very much for watching.